Welcome to this explainer. Okay, today we're digging into a seriously fascinating study by Aladdin Arikhan. It looks at how our ability to navigate the physical world actually changes during our university years. Over the next few minutes, we're going to explore how spatial skills and anxiety evolve, and why this whole dynamic is absolutely crucial for the future of education. Here's our roadmap for today. 1. Core concepts. 2. The 4-year study. 3. Surprising results. 4. Influencing factors. And 5. Importance for social studies. We'll define the basics, look at a really unique longitudinal study, reveal some pretty wild results, and then break down exactly why this matters so much. All right, Section 1, Core Concepts, Skill and Anxiety. To really get what's going on here, we have to understand the two main forces at play. Let's start with the good stuff, environmental spatial skills. Think about the last time you were dropped into a totally unfamiliar city. You need to find a specific landmark, but you don't have GPS. The mental gymnastics you use to orient yourself, update your position, and build a mental map of that huge environment, that right there is your environmental spatial skill in action. But on the flip side, we have spatial anxiety. If just the thought of reading a map or trying to find your way out of a massive new hospital building fills you with total dread, that cold sweat feeling, that is spatial anxiety. And it's heavy. It acts as a cognitive load that literally drains your working memory right when you need it the most. And unfortunately, this sets up a classic vicious cycle. When you have high spatial anxiety, you naturally just avoid spatial tasks. Maybe you always make your friend drive, or you rigidly stick to turn-by-turn navigation. But because you avoid it, you don't get the practice. Your skills stay low, which just reinforces that feeling of inadequacy, sparking even more anxiety the next time you're lost. Moving right along to Section 2, the 4-year longitudinal study. So how do these traits actually evolve when someone goes to college? To figure this out, researchers tracked 41 pre-service social studies teachers over their entire 4-year college journey. They checked in on their spatial skills and anxiety at 5 key milestones, starting from the exact day they enrolled all the way up to their graduation 4 years later. Now, you'd probably expect a steady upward climb, right? You go to college for 4 years, you get smarter, your cognitive skills improve. You'd think they'd leave university as way better navigators. Well, the reality was a whole lot messier than a simple straight line. Which brings us to Section 3, surprising research results. What did the data actually show that was so shocking? Okay, so the students' spatial skills did improve at first. They actually peaked in their second year. But then, and here is the unexpected decline, instead of continuing to grow or even just plateauing, their spatial skills took a significant nosedive by the time they graduated in year 4. And we see the exact inverse happening with their anxiety. Their spatial anxiety hit its absolute lowest point in year 2. They felt confident. But as they moved through their junior and senior years, that anxiety crept right back up. So, the huge takeaway here, the development of spatial skills is absolutely not linear. It doesn't just naturally get better with age or a general college education. Actually, the researchers figured out exactly why this happened. The university packed all the geography and map reading courses into the first 2 years. By years 3 and 4, the curricular just stopped supporting those skills. And without continuous practice, the skills decayed and the anxiety returned. Section 4, influencing factors and variables. Let's dig into what else drove these fluctuating scores. Check out this number, 5.72. Students who had attended preschool scored an average of 5.72 points higher in environmental spatial skills than those who didn't. That is massive. It proves that early childhood play, building blocks, puzzles, just physically exploring, lays a long-lasting foundation for your abilities as an adult. Beyond preschool, there were a few other key predictors. As we saw, high anxiety meant lower skills. Gender also played a role. Males scored higher on average, which the study links to sociocultural roles that encourage boys to do more spatial exploration. But there was one finding regarding academic success that is totally counterintuitive. Believe it or not, a higher GPA actually correlated with lower spatial skills. I mean, why would top students struggle with navigation? The study suggests it's because highly academic students spend way more time indoors, studying in libraries and dorms. It's great for their grades for sure, but they miss out on real-world navigation, inadvertently starving their spatial skills. Finally, Section 5, why this matters for social studies. Why do we even care about the navigation skills of some university students? Because these aren't just any students, they are future social studies teachers. They're about to be tasked with teaching 4th through 7th graders incredibly spatial concepts. We're talking map reading, physical geography, population distribution, outdoor learning activities. It is a highly spatial job. And that highlights a glaring problem. If these teachers graduate with high spatial anxiety and declining skills, they're going to avoid using spatial activities in their own classrooms. And research shows that this directly and negatively impacts their students. They literally risk passing their own anxieties right down to the next generation. If we don't fix this, millions of spatially talented kids just go completely unnoticed in school. They fall behind, simply because their specific type of intelligence isn't being supported. To change this, we really have to overhaul teacher training. We need continuous, hands-on spatial practices, like 3D mapping or VR, integrated across all 4 years of university, not just crammed into the first 2. So, I'll leave you with this final thought to chew on. If our future teachers aren't given the continuous support they need to manage their own spatial anxiety, how in the world will our students learn to confidently find their way? It is a powerful reminder that how we train our educators directly shapes the minds of tomorrow. Thanks for joining me for this explainer.